Hi, I've recently been asked by a couple of people about datasets and record locking, so I thought now was a good time to address those topics, and we'll be back with record locking primarily right after these short words. Hi, this is Martin, and this is another video in my series looking at getting started with OpenInsight 10. And just recently I've had a few people ask me about datasets in OI and record locking and all of that sort of thing, especially as we've been working with data recently. So I'm going to take the two questions separately. We'll look at datasets first of all. Now, I don't have too much of a concept of working with datasets other than something I did quite a long time ago in Visual Studio, because in OpenInsight we don't really work with blocks of datasets and locking whole areas of the system. Basically, if I just have a look at the database manager, and we've got all of the data is pretty much available to us at any time. For instance, we've got all of the data in our appointments table or our patients table. We haven't got to worry about locking a group of patients or locking a group of tables. All of this is available to us. So within the one form, we've been working with data from one particular table, and in a future video we're going to actually be viewing data in the patient window that is linked to the patient database, but we're also going to be viewing data from the appointments table. So we're actually going to be in one form linked to one table viewing data in a different table, and that's for a video that's coming up shortly. So I'm going to leave datasets alone. Basically, we don't really seem to use datasets in OpenInsight. We just have data and we just work with it in a very logical and easy way. Now, when we come to record locking, again, this is something in a lot of systems that the developer needs to take care of, locking one or more records and knowing where users are, etc. One of the powerful features of OpenInsight is the fact that record locking is built in, and it's built in both at the OpenInsight IDE level and also at the application level. And I can demonstrate that because if we open up in this version of OpenInsight, or this copy of OpenInsight, I'm just going to open up the MP Patients form and the pop-up. So two entities that we've been working on previously in previous videos. And then because I've got a multi-version copy of OpenInsight on my system, I'm going to open up another instance of OpenInsight. So if you imagine I've now got sort of two different users, and I'll just wait for that to open up. Okay, we'll just move that across. I'll get rid of these two items here, and we'll open up patients, and we immediately get the MP Patients form is locked by another process, and it will open up but in view only, in the same way that if I open up the pop-up, then we get the same message. Now if we close down OpenInsight without closing down those two entities that we're working on, when OpenInsight runs up, it's going to do the same checks even though those entities are already opened within our IDE. So again, we get the fact that the MP Patients form is locked. It will then open it in view only mode, and the pop-up, again, it's going to open it in view only mode. So we've got full record locking at the IDE level. So what about our application? So if we go back to this one and I do a Control L to launch the application, and we'll just drag that over there. So so we can see it. Let's just minimize this so that it cleans the window up a little bit. And then on this particular one as well, we'll launch the application again. Let's just minimize that. We just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we've got two instances of OpenInsight running. We've got two MDI frames. We're not hitting any data, so there's no record locking involved at the moment. So the first user comes in and accesses record number 1 in the patient window. The second user comes in and accesses record number 2. We're all good. Then, if the second user accesses record number 1, we immediately get a lock error. The entry is locked and may not be modified. Do you wish to continue to view the entry? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll view it in view only, but we cannot save it. Now, ideally, as an application developer, we might want to catch that and then disable the save record. But if I try and save it, it doesn't matter because I still get the update error, the fact that it's locked and it cannot be modified. If you followed through the videos, you'll notice that I have done absolutely nothing to force that behavior or to even invoke that behavior. We have record locking in OpenInsight out of the box, and that's one of the beautiful things about OpenInsight is you've got record locking, you've got scalability, and all of this comes with very little work, if any at all. In this instance with record locking, no work whatsoever. So for those of you that are concerned about understanding and working with data sets, you don't need to. And for those of you that are worried about record locking, you've got full record locking within the IDE when you're working in development mode with your colleagues, but you've also got record locking at the application level for your users. Job done, no work to do. So what about if you're developing in a team environment? So let's just close down these windows for the moment. I'm going to close all of them. I only need one for this. Within OpenInsight, if you are working in a program, so if I just open a stored procedure and we'll do app events, then there is the ability to check the program out. So you've got to check out up here, which would lock it. But one of the ways that most people are now working is with Git, and we have Git fully integrated into OpenInsight 10. I haven't got it turned on and configured because I haven't got a Git server, but if you've got your own independent version of OpenInsight and you're working on your own, you can pull and push from Git, and Revelation have used Git extensively throughout the development of OpenInsight 10 for their programmers that are spread right the way across the USA and also across the Atlantic to Carl here in the UK. And the guys at Revelation have done a video webinar on Git. So if you want more information on that topic, I would suggest that you check out the webinar or contact Revelation for some more information on that. So that's this video. Again, data sets don't need to worry about. Record locking at the basic level is straight out of the box. Obviously within code, I guess that you could do your own record locking and pretty much do whatever you want. But if you're like me and you want to keep it simple, then OpenInsight has your back. That's it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one, coming very soon. Bye bye.